So, Mama, why are we here at the Rabbithole?
Well, that actually kind of had to do with you. Because remember when we lived in a little house in Normandale and you were just born, and I remember it was only a few days after you were born, and I had you on my lap here. You were like as long as the top of my legs, and I was looking at you, and I just thought that I needed to do whatever it took. I needed to do whatever I could do to make sure that you would grow up healthy and happy and well. And at the time, I remember Daryl was quite concerned about everything that was going on in the world with climate change, and he was worried that there might not be enough food for everybody. So we decided we needed to try and be more self-sufficient. So we started digging up the whole backyard at the other house, and we got our chickens. I don't know, do you still remember getting the chickens?
Yeah.
And and then do you remember getting the pet lamb that Papa and Nana brought along?
No.
So they brought this pet lamb, and you and we used to take it for a walk on a lead around the neighborhood. You probably don't even remember that. Anyway, one day it got out and ate the neighbor's roses, and that's pretty much when we knew we had to move to a bigger place so we could have all the animals and grow the food and everything. So that's why and then we started looking, and eventually we ended up here.
But then why did you start teaching other people?
Well, because we were doing this thing, we were living here and we were growing our own food, and we just lived a really awesome life because you guys were small, and Daryl decided not to go back to work after he finished his contract, and we had some money saved but not a whole lot. So we thought, we'll just kind of stay here and see how far we can go, how long we could stay at home with you guys until we need to go back to work. And then we found that because we were living this lifestyle, we were growing all our food, and we were, buying secondhand and making a lot of things ourselves. We actually found that the money lasted for ages, and we could just be here at home doing our thing with you guys. And it was just a really, really awesome time while you were little, and I guess I started thinking that I wanted to help others be able to do the same thing. And I knew that living healthy and eating good food and having sort of less crap in the stuff we use, the products we use, that it's really important, and that it's helpful not just for yourself, but it's also helpful for the planet. And I wanted to make sure that you guys will still have as much wonderful nature to enjoy than we did.
So that was your inspiration for the Green Living Masterclass, was it?
Yeah, eventually that was the inspiration for the Green Living Masterclass. First I started teaching people directly, and I did that for so many years, just teaching people in classrooms, and I learned a few things about what works and what doesn't, and mainly I worked out that it's not actually about teaching people how to make bread and how to recycle and all these things, which is all the stuff we do in the masterclass, but it's actually about much, much more than that, because I would have people on my class and teach them how to say recycle and how to separate their rubbish. But actually they would come back and say, I can't make the time to do all of this stuff, or my husband or my wife is not helping me, or they're not supporting me. What can I do about that? So that's how I started getting into coaching more and helping people solve all these other problems in their lives. People would say, I don't have enough money to buy organic food, for example. So it's not good enough to go and say, you should be eating organic food because it's healthier for you and healthier for the planet. It's actually working out, well, how can I free up the money to be able to do that? And that's got to do with lifestyle changes. It's got to do with making sure that, maybe you reduce your work hours to have more time available, or maybe you need to make savings in other areas, like spend less money on your power bill, spend less money on stuff that you buy that you don't really need, all this sort of stuff. So it became a much, much bigger thing. And the time that I spent teaching people in the classroom was really learning about what people really needed, and then the Green Living Masterclass was pulling it all together and putting it into an actual course.
So how many people have you now helped, and how does it make you feel?
Wow. I don't really know. I never counted. I had hundreds of people in my classes and workshops for sure. And I think I've probably helped a lot more people even just through the stuff I write and what they read on Facebook. And so it's really hard to count, but how it makes me feel is it makes me feel really excited, and it's really rewarding if people come back to me and say, look, I've been trying this thing and it's really, it's made a huge difference in my life. I feel better, I'm happier, I feel like I'm doing the right thing, because that's a huge one, It's like so many people feel guilty, and you probably know this, that, you feel like, I should be doing this, or I should be doing that, I shouldn't be eating so much sugar, for example. But then you kind of get sucked into doing that, and we're all like that. So then it becomes a bit difficult. And if people then come up to me and say, I actually managed to now do the right thing, and I'm managing to eat better, and I started growing my own food, I started my own garden, or I expanded my own garden, that's really awesome to hear. It makes me really happy.
And the Airbnb, how did that come around?
The Airbnb is actually, that's an interesting one, because it kind of fits into the whole picture. We wanted to share more of our lifestyle and give people an opportunity to experience living here. But it's also been about creating another income stream. And I think that's what a lot of people don't think about. People think about, I have to go to work to pay my bills and to make ends meet. But where the real potential lies, and this is further down the track, but where the real potential lies is to start thinking outside the square and to discover what it is that works for you, so that you can live the lifestyle you want to live and have the extra time to do the gardening and make the cheese and bake the bread. And if that's what you want to do, not everybody wants to do that, but if that's what you want to do, you need to free up the time. So maybe you can, reduce your hours at work and start making money from other ways. And Airbnb is just one of 1,000 different possibilities to do that.
Well, Mama, it's been nice talking to you. I was just wondering, how we've got that bar of chocolate in the cupboard?